This is why I love doing what I do. When I get to review and bring you reviews to films that may not have been widely well received, especially by critics, you'll find that my opinions often differ to what those of the critics are saying. It's not that they are wrong, it's that my views on cinema change depending on what type of film experience I want to have in the cinema. For example, when you're going to watch something that you know is Shakespearean, you know the type of script you want to get. Here we have a film that dives into many genres. It has many themes, and I think for critics, they felt like it was a bit pulled all over the place. But I'm going to talk about the positives of this film because I really enjoyed it. So let's get stuck into Ella McCay. An idealistic young woman juggles her family and work life in a comedy about the people you love and how to survive them. So, once again, IMDb's description of this film is wrong. It's not a comedy, it's a drama about life. And there are comedic moments that our characters happen to find themselves in, but there was never a point where I laughed because of a gag or a comedy bit of writing. I more laughed, giggled or huffed or sniffed an emotional response of some sort because of the circumstance those characters were finding themselves in. So that is completely wrong. And I think partly the trailers and the marketing for this have pitched it as a sort of comedy drama with a bit of romance in it. It's not really that.
So I'm not exactly neutral.
It's a snapshot of what life is. And because of that, we have this beautiful story of Emma Mackey, who plays Ella McCay. She basically gets raised by her aunt, Jamie Lee Curtis. Here is Helen McCay. She gets raised by a woman that has to become surrogate mother and surrogate father and be aunt and try and be the cool aunt and deal with the broken mess of both brother and sister. And the brother here is played by Spike Fern, who plays Casey McCay. Even though this film pulls at many threads and is all over the place a little bit, the scenes that you get with each actor
Small stab in the
are outstanding. So you get moments with Emma McCay and Spike Fern, whether it's in their younger years or a bit later in life, you see these emotional moments of relationships and just real dialogue that feels so well written that it could have been written from something like with The West Wing, except here you're having a bit of political machinations, but mostly focuses on the drama of broken family and how we kind of cope with the mess of that. But it's the quirkiness that Emma McKay brings to her character, totally different from other roles like sex education that we've seen her. She's brilliant. I loved how she's wrapped herself into a character that is so far removed from anything you've seen it. She just feels like she's totally something different. So it's like you're watching someone as a almost like a documentary. You're flying the wall and you get to see the snapshots. I don't see the actor Emma McKay. I see Ella McKay. I don't see the actor, I keep getting her name wrong, Emma Mackey, I see Ella McCay. We also have Woody Harrelson, who plays a dad, a father that is very easy to dislike. He excels at this role. I don't think we get enough of him, or he doesn't really get enough juicy bits to make his role stand out. We also have Kumail Nanjiani, who is a sort of driver, and there's a relationship that they want to tease in this but doesn't really go anywhere, so it kind of just feels hammed in. So there are weaknesses to the story. Jack Loudon, who plays Ryan Newell, he is the partner that, again, his story is sort of a character that you know what it is, isn't really deeper than it looks. So I totally understand when critics will go, yeah, this isn't good. But between all the pulling on different threads, you get these scenes that are just absolutely incredible. When you see Jamie Lee Curtis on screen acting as the aunt and their emotional responses to what life has been dishing out to them, her life wisdom shown through the dialogue is so well done that you can't help be swept up in the emotion. Well, I certainly did in those moments. And I really felt like the film came together at the end. You could start off by watching this and going, where is this going? And then you get to the bit of the political parts and you're like, this is a really weird film. On one hand, it's like a political story. On the other hand, it's about broken relationships. On the other hand, it is what is family. And then you have this young relationship that kind of blossoms and is a bit broken. You have brother and sisters, all of this stuff going on. But what holds the film together are these scenes that jump from moment to moment of their life. It doesn't feel disjointed the way it's shown. It's chronological. We do get a few flashbacks. It works to show some of the drama that's happened in their life, and then you see how Emma McCay's character, how she wraps that into a persona that is very interesting to watch. Sometimes she comes across as a little bit special. She holds her fingers in certain ways. She moves. She can't help but regurgitate a bunch of dialogue, whether you want to listen to or not. And because of that, she's sort of alienating people around her. And yet people that know her understand her wisdom and her love. And that all comes across brilliantly on screen, even though sometimes those around her, as showcased in this film, find her a little bit grating. I love this performance, and I think it's a film that I'll go back to. It made me feel happier to watch it. Does that make sense? So it's not a film that I think is going to win loads of Oscars. I do believe that performances are Oscar worthy, but a lot of people throw that out of their award winning. I just think this is going to be one of those films that people eventually find in the zeitgeist of the streaming platforms. Probably not a lot of people are going to go watch it at the cinema, but when it gets to Netflix and Amazon, all of those, people are going to come back to this film and go, actually, that was way better than the critics are saying that this film is. I'm going to give this 4. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was strong, great script, interesting story, different to your classic drama, comedy, romance, all of those. It tries to do something different with this relationship, making really real, interesting characters. And I think the performances here shine so that you will want to come back. I compare this to the sort of feeling I get when I watch films like The Way, Way Back. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. Are you going to give this a go, or are you going to wait till it comes to streaming? Or have you seen it already and you're like, no, this was so rubbish? There was a elderly couple in my cinema screen, and the gentleman there, he said no, he didn't like it. He liked the performances, but he thought the film was very forgetful. The critics have been very harsh in this film. So I'd love to know your thoughts. What films did you love that critics hated, and your thoughts on the performances in this film if you get to see them? Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.